The live look over the Michigan Capitol building downtown Lansing, where the Senate has passed a bipartisan bill designed to protect domestic violence survivors. This legislation would change the way personal protection orders, also known as restraining orders, are served to alleged abusers. Welcome to News 10 at 5:30. I'm David Andrews.
And I'm Seth Wells. News 10's Jaden Hawkins joins us live in studio now to break down these new bills. Hey, Jaden.
Hi, David and Seth. Sometimes it takes a tragedy to spark change. That's what happened after Latricia Green, a Henry Ford Hospital employee, was fatally shot. Police say the suspect was her ex-husband. There was a protection order in place, but it was never served. He was charged for the murder back in August. Now the Michigan Senate passed two new bills to better protect domestic violence victims. Michigan is one of only 7 states that require domestic violence survivors to serve personal protection orders to their own abusers. Priscilla Bordeo with Crime Survivors Speak says the process puts victims at risk.
They're having to think about, delivering that PPO, whether that's them themselves or having to find someone to actually deliver that. It just brings more trauma to the individual.
But soon, this process may change. The Michigan Senate unanimously passed Bills 611 and 612, requiring law enforcement to serve protection orders within 72 hours at no cost to survivors. Michigan Senator Stephanie Chang sponsored the legislation.
If we were able to get this set of bills passed, that it will actually help more people feel that courage to fill out a PPO application and get that done, because they know that it will actually be served on the person that they are in danger from.
But Matt Saxton, CEO of the Michigan Sheriff's Association, says he's concerned about the language in the bills.
We are not opposed to these bills. We want to make the bills do what their intention of doing, but also make sure on the day-to-day operations of law enforcement that we're able to do those in a timely and safe manner.
Chang says the Senate secured $1 million in the state budget to ensure law enforcement was reimbursed for their services. The bills have been sent to the State House of Representatives and referred to the Judiciary Committee.
All right, Jaden, thank you. If you or someone you know is in an unsafe situation, you can text the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 88788. For additional local resources, you can visit our website, WILX.com.